I have some pictures from my notebook with Windows. And first of all, I'm going to talk about this guy. It's called Voice Meter. I think just this guy is enough to make it work. Okay, so if we go to the website, we have this software. It works just on PC. Okay, we don't have this for Mac. How can we make it work? When you install it, we're going to have the first part here. That is the first input. So you click here, and then we're going to choose your microphone or your instrument. And then in the second one, you're going to choose your mic or your instrument. So you can have a microphone here, your instrument here, and this one will always be your sound system. Okay? And then you have two outputs. One output here, A1, and one output here, A2. If you have this channel with A and B on, we're going to send to both outputs. So you can choose just one, A or B, okay? And then you go to your preference on Skype or Zoom, and then you choose for microphone, you choose Voice Meter. Okay, just this for Windows will work to make your instrument and your voice works for a music class. Okay, we don't need to pass through a digital audio workstation. Just this guy will make it work. Second picture, it's about something called buffer size. Buffer size is the how long it will take to your computer to process all the informations and give it back to listen. Okay, so when you play, it needs to calculate and put it all together and then send it back to the output. This is the buffer size. This is the time, the latency, the time that it makes to make the round trip through your computer. Here I'm choosing the latency for my output. I need to put the lowest buffer size possible. If not, you're going to listen with an echo, with a lot latency, okay? So we put the lowest buffer size here, and then you go to your Skype like this, and then you choose Voice Meter. This is enough to make it work, okay? For Windows, it's much easier. We just need to have this guy here. You have Voice Meter, the normal one, the simple one that it's free, okay? And then you have another one that you pay that's called Voice Meter Banana. Basically, you are going to have more inputs and more outputs. If you have a huge connection with many variants, maybe you're going to need Voice Meter Banana. And then you have the big one that's called Voice Meter Potato, okay, that you have many more inputs and many more outputs. You have another really great thing for Windows that it's called Virtual Audio Cable. Okay, this guy will work for Mac and Windows. Okay, you can have for Mac and Windows. What can you do? You can download this guy and combine it with Voice Meter or anything. You can combine it with Azure for All to make multiple devices. Now we jump into Mac stuff. The first thing I want to talk about is this guy, SoundFlower. I'm going to explain what it does. Here we have SoundFlower. Okay, SoundFlower, it's like a virtual connection for your Mac. It doesn't work for Windows. You don't have this for Windows, okay? You have this just for Mac. It's going to create two virtual inputs and two virtual outputs to route your signal, your audio signal, from your system to Skype, to Zoom, to Pro Tools, Logic Pro, whatever. You can route signal from anything to anything, and it works really, really, really well. And then we have another thing that it's the VB cable. It's from the same developer from Voicemeter, okay? It's the virtual audio cable, and it's exactly the same thing as SoundFlower. We're going to need both to make it work for a music class. So first of all, you download virtual cable, you install virtual cable for Windows and for Mac. And then you're going to download SoundFlower, okay, and install it. Once you have this ready and installed, you are good to start. We're going to talk about something called Aggregate device. That's what we need to make it work, okay? We need something called Aggregate device. We go to something called Audio MIDI Setup, and then we have this window. If we click here in the signal, we are able to create another aggregate device, okay? I'm going to call it live example. With this aggregate, I will choose my interface. I will choose SoundFlower, and I'm going to choose VB cable, okay? This drift correction is to align all these devices, okay? So here the master is my interface, and then I'm going to do the drift for SoundFlower and for VB cable. So now I have my aggregate device ready to make it work with all these devices. I can go to Pro Tools and have access to my SoundFlower and my VB cable. If I have this aggregate device here, live example, now this live example is my sound device. The system is sending this sound to my live example, this device, okay? I can choose for any of these devices here. I can put it directly to my universal audio interface, and you see here that it's changing. When I come back to my live example, it changed here, okay? So it means that this is my main device. It is the device that it's activated now. But we're not going to use this example, this device, to route our system sound. This is just to use in your Pro Tools or your Logic Pro or whatever. It doesn't matter what you use, okay? What we're going to do is this. If we choose here SoundFlower or VB cable, it means that the sound of your system is going through SoundFlower or VB cable. It doesn't matter if I choose SoundFlower or VB cable. I'm going to choose SoundFlower. I'm going to create a new session. I'm going to keep it in 48, and it's okay. Now here I have my audio device like SoundFlower. SoundFlower is my main audio device. So my sound is going through SoundFlower, and then if I create another track here like this, I go to my playback engine, I will choose this live example as my main device. I just need to redo all the patch here. It's normal for Pro Tools, but if you are using Logic Pro, you don't need to do this, okay? It will make it automatically. So here, and if I go to my inputs in my interface, I have many inputs here. Okay, if I come back to audio mid setup, I have all these inputs here in the first line and all these outputs here in the second line. Okay, so my SoundFlower is the green one and it's the 17 and 18. Okay, so if I go here in my input and I choose the 17 and 18, now it's the SoundFlower. The system is sending the sound to SoundFlower, and this track is getting the sound from SoundFlower. I'm going to put it output 1 and 2. I'm going to monitor it, and then just put the Spotify to play something like this. So we download SoundFlower and VB Cable. These two guys are creating virtual patches in my system. So I can route the signal from my system to Pro Tools or to Logic Pro. And then here in Audio Mid Setup, we created another aggregate device that I call the live example. In this aggregate device, I grouped all my devices. Okay, my interface, my SoundFlower, and then my VB cable. Here, in the main device for the system sound, I just choose the SoundFlower. Okay, so the SoundFlower in this multiple device, this aggregate device, it's the input 17 and 18 here. Okay, so if I go to Pro Tools and then I choose the input 17 and 18, I'm going to receive the system sound. Okay, I can check it when I play my Spotify, and it's modulating here. Now, if I do the same, I'm going to create two another tracks, and then I'm going to call the first one mic and the second one instrument. So here in the first one, I can choose my interface 1. Okay, if I check here in Audio Mid Setup, I can see that the first input of this device, it's my mic 1. The second input, it's my mic 2. So if your instrument is connected to the input 1, you just put here instrument like input 1 and microphone as input 2. This is up to you, it depends of your system, okay? But the main thing here is SoundFlower, system sending the signal to SoundFlower, one track here in your digital audio workstation receiving this signal from SoundFlower, okay? Another track receiving the first or the second input from your interface, and another track receiving the first or second input from your interface. You need to monitor your digital audio workstation because here, for example, my mic is connected to input 2, okay? If I don't monitor, I get no sound. Look, here I'm talking and I get no sound. If I monitor, I start to get sound. Same here. If I do play here, it's modulating the system. But if I take If I take out the input, I listen nothing, okay? So you need to, don't forget to monitor your tracks. How can I send it all to my Skype or my Zoom call? We need to make a send. What is this? A send, it's when you duplicate your signal and then you send it to another track or to some output. Okay, here we're going to send it to an output, and the output that I will choose, it's the VB cable. Okay, I'm not sending to SoundFlower. So VB cable is the last output. Okay, output 13 and 14. So I'm going to just send. I'm going to choose 13 and 14. Okay, here I have no sound. I'm going to put it in 0. Okay, I'm going to duplicate these guys. So now everything that's passing through this channel, through this track, is going to be sent to output 13 and 14. That, remember, it's my VB cable. Continuing. If I go to Skype and then I go to preference, we have the audio preference. It's the same for Zoom, okay? We go to audio, and here in microphone, you can choose what will feed this input, okay? And then I'm going to choose the VB cable. Okay, look here, microphone is VB cable. Speakers, you choose whatever you want, okay? You can choose your interface, you can choose the speakers from your laptop, I don't care, okay? But here you put VB cable. And look here, I'm going to play. My Spotify is playing. Now I have my system, and look here, there is no sound going on. I need to monitor this track. Now I have sound coming here. This is my sending this level to output 13 and 14. And if I come here, look, it's modulating. Yeah, so now we have the sound from Spotify going through output 13 and 14, and Skype is receiving this signal. It will work with my mic too. If I do this, if I monitor my mic, now I'm sending this level here, okay? I'm sending this level here. If I continue talking, look, it's modulating here. So I can have my voice and Skype at the same time. We have 3 tracks. One track, I'll call it system. Another track, I'll call it mic. And another one, I call it instrument. We need to choose the device, the audio device. Live example, the aggregate device that we just made, okay? We put the buffer size the lowest possible. I'm going to put it, okay, 64 is okay. And now I came here, input, and I choose, okay, I put it in stereo track, and I know that my SoundFlower is this guy, 17 and 14. Now if I play my Spotify, it's modulating here, okay? It's modulated just because I have this track selected. Look, if I choose, it stops, okay? I need to put it in input, okay? Now I am listening to this track. If I do mute, it stops, okay? It's different from Pro Tools. It stops modulating, okay? I'm going to create a send, output, stereo, and I'll take 13 and 14. Remember, 13 and 14 are VB cable, okay? This guy here. This guy we're going to send to Zoom or Skype. I put it at 0, okay? And if you look, it's not modulating. I need to do this. I need to put it in pre-fader. Now, if I play here, and I took out the mute, I can choose the volume here, but here in Skype or Zoom, I'm going to show it in Zoom now. In Zoom, it's modulating all the time. Because here, I am in pre-fade, okay? If I change this value here, oops, I need to put it in VB cable, okay? Look, I have no sound. If I raise this value here, I got sound. Okay, so it's with this value here that you are going to make the balance for the people that are listening, okay? We can put it less or more. If people say, it's too loud, we just put it down a bit, okay? Like this. I'm going to keep it at 0. And here is the level that you are going to listen, okay? You just do your balance here, and you do the balance for the people listen here. It's the same in Pro Tools, okay? You can put it in pre-fader, like here, and choose the value for the listen. Here I have my microphone. You do the same. You choose the right input. You choose the right input for your instrument, and then you're good to go. Okay? You put input in everyone. You create a send for everyone. Okay? Output 14. You put it at 0. Microphone, you do the same. Output 14, 14, 13, 14. You put it at 0. And then now you are sending these levels for Skype or Zoom. Okay, here it's not modulating because I have no sound going through. But if I do this, I have the sound. Okay, so we need SoundFlower to receive the sound from the system, and we need VB cable to send the sound to Zoom or Skype. We cannot send the sound with SoundFlower, receive the sound with SoundFlower, and send with SoundFlower, because imagine here, for example, if you are sending the sound from your mic, okay, and then you are sending it to SoundFlower. I choose here to receive the sound with SoundFlower. When I talk, this track is also receiving the sound from SoundFlower, so it will double. You are always going to listen to your mic, even if you are at 0 here, okay? Because you are sending to the same input here. This output, if it's a SoundFlower, is going to this software, Zoom or Skype, and also it's going to this track. Okay? So you need to have different virtual devices to send and receive the sound. Okay? For Mac, it works like this because you have SoundFlower. What are the advantages of using a digital audio workstation to prepare your sound to give a class or to do a class? You can equalize You can compress. You can have an amp simulator for your guitar, for example. You just open an amp simulator, and then your sound is going to have all the treatment that you want. If you want a guitar with distortion to send it to your student or to your teacher, you can put it here, and this treatment will count during your session. You can even have some noise reduction in your microphone to get a cleaner sound. You can equalize, you can compress. You can do many things like have another track here, an audio track that you can call backing track, and then you just import whatever you want. And then here you can have a session, a backing track, or a whole session, and make it work. You are going to send your mic signal, your instrument signal, your backing track, your system if you want. And when I talk about system, it's everything going through your system. Like here, I can open, for example, this video, and if I'm with SoundFlower here, system here, it's going to start to play here now. And look, it's modulating here. I'm sending from 13 and 14. I come here to zoom, and I'm receiving this sound. And guys, thanks for staying. And that's it.